Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter Alessia Cara has given us global hits like Here and Scars to Your Beautiful. And now she's celebrating 10 years in music with a brand new project. And she joins me now to talk about her latest album, Love or Lack Thereof. Excuse me. Good morning and welcome to GMT.
Hi, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, 10 years in music, it's incredible. It deserves to be talked about, and you're still evolving, it sounds like. Tell us a little bit about Love or Lack Thereof and what we can expect.
Yeah, so like you said, it's been 10 years since I first released, my first song Here all those years ago, and I've had a really, winding and long journey, and I really wanted to commemorate that journey and all the songs that kind of got me to where I am on the 10-year anniversary. So, and I had also just come off of tour for the last year. So I was kind of, I caught the live bug, and I thought of an interesting way to kind of put all those things together. And jazz and soul, have been genres that I really wanted to tap into and really go full swing into. So it just felt like the perfect time to do it. And I'm so glad we did, because I love these renditions and I feel like we gave these songs new life again. Which is always really, really nice.
Yes, well, let's expand upon that jazz aspect, because you were with live jazz musicians in studio when you're making this album. So how did that live stripped down approach change the way you kind of connected with your own music?
It was really fun. It's really cool to do things live, especially the way we did it. We recorded everything live to tape, which means you have a very limited amount of takes. And you're kind of all in it together, because if there's one thing that messes up, you have to start all over again. And while that can feel kind of scary, it's actually really cool to like be locked in together and feed off of each other. And there's something really fun about that adrenaline and that sense of pressure. At least for me, I really loved it. And you kind of have to learn to let go, right? Because you only have a certain amount of takes, so you can't just be like a super perfectionist about it, which I am, and I tend to not be able to let things go. And this was like good practice for me to just let things be what they are and not have them be perfect, just have it feel more natural,
Yes, yes, it sounds like it was a new challenge for you, but also a life lesson mixed in there as well.
Yes.
Now, when you look back at songs like Here and Scars to Your Beautiful, how does it feel to experience these songs that are so popular in a completely new way?
It was really fun to be able to do that. There's so many songs, throughout the years that I've really loved that, aren't necessarily singles or that you don't really get to play with as much. So I was more so excited to just like tap into those like deep cuts that the fans really love and get to reimagine those, because oftentimes, you have so many songs on an album that don't really get to see as much light as like the big singles do, as much as I love the big singles. And we did do a rendition of Stay, which is another, big song of mine, of course, but it was really fun to like tap into the deep cuts and like give them a new light and new life,
Yes, yes. Well, you had a few different collaborations as well for this album, one of them being Norah Jones on your single I'm in Trouble, which I hear you actually wrote in a day before actually heading into the studio. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, the day before. So thankfully we came up with something good.
Oh my goodness. What was that creative process like, though, getting in there and literally going in and kind of laying something down that you had just created?
It was so fun. It was really fun, and it still felt fresh, because the first time I really sang it in full was when we recorded it. So it's a super fresh version, if you're listening to it, right, at least now it was like my first time singing it. So you can kind of almost sense that sense of I don't know, newness and excitement in my voice and in all of our voices and in our playing. So yeah, I'm glad with how it turned out.
Oh my goodness, this is really exciting. And as we got to see just then, some visuals will be going along with the album as well. Alessia, thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Me too. Thanks for having me.
Of course, Love or Lack Thereof can be listened to now on all major music platforms. And for more information, just go to alessiacara.com.